Music helps keep us connected through our souls. That part of us that knows that we are connected to something bigger, no matter what we call it, or whether we acknowledge it at all. There's something inside of us that knows we share at least a very basic thread of experience with the other human beings in the world. I am Tavish Carduff. It is our Raw Materials Music Week, so I'm here to talk about the music pillar. It is the first of the spiritual weeks, and it is the doorway into connection. 95% of us experience ourselves at a different level, at a mind-body space through music. It moves our physical body. It gets our head connected into either the beat or the lyrics. Music leads us into our own drummer, let's say. It gives us a journey within ourselves that isn't expressed outside of ourselves. When we're listening to music, we aren't talking. So we are taking it in. We are experiencing the inner self. And so music, the pillar of music, really lets us take that inner look. What are the, let's say, songs that you gravitated towards when you first started listening to music of your own taste, that wasn't influenced by your parents? Or maybe you really liked what your parents started with and just built on that. Maybe music, you haven't really considered it, but once you do, there are certain songs that I connect to. What are the themes of those songs? What do those things generally mean? What's the tone? And then you start to see what your connection to your own spirit is, your own soul. Music takes us to that space where we know, we feel we are connected. There are 8 billion of us in the world. That is 8 billion different personalities, all vying for their own space in a planet that's obviously big enough to hold all of us, but it doesn't allow for each of us to have our own expression in a way that gets recognized. Freedoms come up against liberties, come up against, this belief system versus that belief system. And instead of recognizing where we are all alike, where the common ground is, what we tend to gravitate towards is what is wrong and what's different. And especially when we disagree socioeconomically, politically, gender-wise. Music gives us the space where we share, with someone else. We both like this song. We both like this type of music. We both like this artist. Right now in Kansas City, we have a music craze with the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. That right there has shined a little bit on the winter of Kansas City. We're a little dreary here sometimes in the winter, and right now it's all shiny and bright because we've got a, pop star. Even if you're not a fan, you can't help but see the glow of the people who are really excited about this. So it is a common wound up, fired up way of being, and it brings us all together in a way that feels connected. I would bet you a lot of us feel more connected to Taylor Swift than we ever did just by being a Chiefs fan and having her show up wearing Chiefs clothes. It's just the way that those things work. They resonate. They come back at us. They make us reevaluate something we may have already made a decision about, and then we revisit it. We didn't really give it maybe the due that we might have if we found it interesting. And so music is the thing that actually kind of stirs our passion. It shows us where our interests might lie. It gets us to the spaces that start seeing our creative passion and where we grow into being people who are led by our spirit and our inner guides and those things that help to keep us grounded, centered, and healed, healthy. Musical anhedonia. It affects about 5% of the population, people who are unable to derive any sort of pleasure from music. And there's a study going on at Northwestern University, a couple of professors that are looking into whether that 5% tend to fall on the spectrum and whether there's something in the neuropathways that make discordant sounds with music and make it not feel good like it does within the rest of us, which would make sense just in the brain patterns of brains that are wired that way. Most of us, however, still share this one latent trait of enjoying music. And as our brains do start to rewire with 8 billion personalities, we have all these different expressions, and we now have a platform, the internet, to express exactly how we feel if we want to. So we really are reaching a time period where our own expression inside our own physical body becomes very important. And if it gets that extra boost of knowing it's connected, then we start to see the creative, passionate power come to fruition. Music Week practice guidance. How about just pay attention to what's playing in the background? Close your eyes, sit still for a moment. 8 is enough. The theme song to 8 is enough. 8 is enough to fill our lives with love. Don't even ask me. But that is a show about family. I haven't thought about it in years, except my sister used to look like the kid, Adam Rich, that played Nicholas Bradford, the youngest of the Bradfords in the 8 is Enough family. And there's very little I remember about that show other than honest family drama. And I think that's what my family is actually dealing with this year, honest family drama. So there's a lot that can be gauged by just checking in for a moment on what's playing in the background, noticing what it connects to in our real life, kind of just like our dreams. We check in on our dreams. What do they mean in life? We're looking at what do the songs that are playing in the background mean? And then making connections about when you hear a song that means something to you, what are you thinking about at the time? And how does it connect to the time period where you first fell in love with that song? All those kinds of connections, I can't direct you exactly to them, but I can show you how to make your own connections, because past the framework, I can't help you a lot. I can show you the pillar of music. I can start showing you some ways to use it, but it's really on you to develop that relationship the way that you want to develop it, the way that it comes to you. And so I can give you the most simple, basic guidance, but what we're really asking for here is for you to connect to that own inner God, that own inner belief that we are all connected to something by something, and that we are not separate. As a fellow human being, as we head into 2024 and experience Music Week with all of the spirit that we can muster, saying goodbye to the trials and tribulations of 2023, and looking forward to a clean slate for 2024, ready to allow and accept whatever comes next, and trust our own passion and purpose. I'll be back next week as we talk about food, the mental structure. Food Pillar is a great place to start examining what type of beliefs you hold that actually hold you back. It's a really good arena for unlocking the things that we think we've maybe overcome, but we can really just let them go for good. It's one thing to not think about them anymore. It's another to think about them enough to understand how valuable they are to your own wholeness and to your life today. See you next week.